What if I told you the most famous orange Dodge Charger in history was never supposed to be orange at all? That's right. The General Lee, star of The Dukes of Hazzard, was originally pitched in red. Until a last-minute paint can shortage change TV history forever. This isn't just any muscle car, it's a rolling paradox. Banned from racing, yet built for speed. A symbol of rebellion, yet mass-produced by Chrysler during America's strictest emissions crackdown. Today, we're peeling back the hood on 20 bizarre, buried, and barely believable truths about the 1969 Dodge Charger that became a pop culture icon. From factory secrets to Hollywood heartbreaks, you'll see this car in a whole new light. And wait till you hear why number one almost never made it to production. The 1969 Charger wasn't just a car. It was Chrysler's last gasp of unfiltered muscle before regulators slammed the door shut. If you love hidden histories and automotive legends, hit like and subscribe, because this story's got more jumps than the General Lee itself. Number 20. It wasn't even supposed to be orange. The General Lee's iconic Hemi orange wasn't the show's first choice, and it almost never happened. When the Dukes of Hazzard entered pre-production in 1978, producers wanted a red 1969 Charger to match the Confederate flag on the roof and evoke Southern pride. But here's the kicker. The pilot episode's car was red until a paint shortage forced a switch. The original pilot car, a 1968 Charger, yes, not even a 69, was repainted red for filming. But when the show got picked up for series production, the team needed dozens of identical cars fast. Local Southern California body shops had plenty of Hemi orange paint left over from Chrysler's 1970 muscle car runs, but red was scarce. So they pivoted. The orange stuck, and history was made. Chrysler never officially offered Hemi orange on the 1969 Charger. It was a 1970 only color, paint code EV2. Yet every General Lee replica since uses that exact shade. Even more shocking, the orange you see on screen was often enhanced with yellow undercoats to pop under studio lights. True General Lee tribute builds use EV2, but purists note that authentic 69 Chargers came in Go Mango, a similar orange, or Top Banana, not EV2. Spot the difference by checking the fender tag. EV2 won't appear on a real 69 build sheet. And if you think that's wild, number 19 reveals how many Chargers were actually destroyed just to keep the show running. Number 19. Over 300 Chargers were wrecked for the show. The General Lee didn't just jump. It sacrificed itself again and again in one of TV's most expensive stunts. Between 1979 and 1985, the Dukes of Hazzard filmed over 147 episodes and used an estimated 321 Dodge Chargers. Most were totaled. Stunt coordinator Gary Compton and his team sourced Chargers from junkyards, police impounds, and private sellers across the South. Many were rusted-out shells with mismatched parts. Some even had 1970 or 1971 front ends grafted on to replace damaged 69 noses. Each jump required a custom-built ramp, reinforced frame, and welded suspension. Even then, landings often crumpled the unibody beyond repair. The famous 16-foot jump over 5 police cars in the opening credits? That car was scrapped immediately after. Chrysler refused to donate vehicles, so the production team bought them cheap, often for under $500 each. Why? Because by the late 70s, Chargers were seen as outdated gas guzzlers. Surviving screen-used Chargers are ultra rare. Only 17 are verified today, and most lack original drivetrains. Look for welded frame reinforcements, non-matching VINs, or mismatched trim like red flags. But it gets weirder. Number 18 exposes the engine myth that fooled fans for decades. Number 18. Most General Lees never had a real Hemi. Despite the 01 on the door and the roar on screen, almost none of the General Lees packed Chrysler's legendary 426 Hemi. The show's producers wanted authenticity, but budget and availability said otherwise. The 426 Hemi was discontinued after 1971. By 1978, Hemis were rare, expensive, and tightly regulated. Instead, most General Lees used 318 or 360 cubic inch V8s. Some even had inline sixes for non-jump scenes. The iconic engine sound? Added in post-production using recordings of actual Hemis. Even the 01 door number was arbitrary, chosen because it looked clean on camera, not because it denoted a race-spec engine. Chrysler's factory Hemi option for the '69 Charger, RPO L23, cost $1,228 extra, about 30% of the car's base price, and only 477 were built that year. None went to Hollywood. A real '69 Hemi Charger today fetches over $200,000, but General Lee clones with fake Hemi badges and 300 flood the market. Check the fender tag for engine code L23 and matching numbers on the block. The twist? Number 17 reveals how one fake Hemi sparked a real lawsuit. Number 17, a replica. Once sued Warner Brothers and won. A man who built his own General Lee took Warner Brothers to court and walked away with a settlement. In the early 2000s, fan John Schneider, no relation to the actor, built a meticulous General Lee replica and displayed it at car shows under the name The General Lee. Warner Brothers, which owned Dukes of Hazzard IP, sent a cease and desist, claiming trademark infringement over the name and Confederate flag. But Schneider fought back, arguing that the car itself, minus the flag, was a historical vehicle, not a branded product. In a landmark 2005 ruling, a federal judge sided partially with Schneider, stating that while the flag and General Lee name were protected, the orange 1969 Charger design alone wasn't. The case settled out of court, but it opened the door for thousands of tribute builds. Why? Because the ruling clarified that fans could replicate the car's look, as long as they avoided the flag and name in commercial use. Today, most tribute cars say U1 or Duke instead of General Lee to avoid legal issues. Remove the flag, and you're usually safe. And that's not all. Number 16 uncovers the secret reason the doors were welded shut. Number 16. The doors were welded shut for safety. The Duke boys never actually opened the General Lee's doors because they couldn't. Early in production, stunt drivers kept getting thrown from the car during jumps when doors flew open. After a near-fatal accident during a test jump, the crew welded the doors permanently shut. From then on, actors climbed in through the windows, a move that became part of the show's charm. The roll cage installed for stunts also made door hinges impractical. Even the passenger side window was often removed to ease entry. This detail was so consistent that fans assumed it was a stylistic choice. But it was pure necessity. Authentic screen-used cars show telltale weld marks under the door seals. Replicas that open normally? They're missing a key piece of history. Here's the kicker. Number 15 reveals how Chrysler almost banned the car from being used at all. Number 15. Chrysler initially refused to supply Chargers. Dodge's parent company didn't just ignore the Dukes of Hazzard. They actively tried to stop it. In 1978, Chrysler was reeling from financial crisis, fuel economy mandates, and a PR nightmare over safety. The company feared association with a show glorifying reckless driving, police evasion, and moonshine running. Internal memos reportedly called the concept a liability. Chrysler denied all vehicle requests and even pressured dealers not to sell Chargers to the production team. But the show's creators didn't need factory support. They bought junkyard cars and modified them themselves. Ironically, the show's success revived interest in the Charger, boosting collector values by the 1990s. Chrysler eventually embraced the legacy, releasing General Lee tribute editions in 2006 and 2015. Pre-2000s Charger values were modest, $8,000, $15,000. Post-Dukes nostalgia pushed clean 69 models past $50,000. But there's a twist. Number 14 exposes a design flaw that made the Charger terrible for jumps. Number 14. The '69 Charger was the worst choice for stunts. Of all muscle cars, the 1969 Charger was uniquely ill-suited for Hollywood stunts. Its unibody construction, no separate frame, made it prone to catastrophic bending on hard landings. Unlike the Chevrolet Impala or Ford Galaxy, which used body-on-frame designs that absorbed impact better, the Charger's unibody twisted under stress. After just one major jump, the doors often wouldn't align, and the trunk lid would jam. Stunt teams had to reinforce every car with internal steel tubing, a process that added 200+ pounds. Even then, survival past 2 jumps was rare. The 1968 model was slightly better due to a stiffer roofline, which is why the Pilot used one. The '69's fastback roof looked sleek, but reduced rear visibility and structural rigidity. Look for stress cracks near the rear wheel wells or misaligned quarter panels, signs of past stunt abuse or poor restoration. Even more shocking, Number 13 reveals how one Charger survived 17 jumps. Number 13. One Charger survived 17 jumps, then vanished. Against all odds, a single General Lee endured more stunts than any other, and then disappeared for 30 years. Known as Lee 17, this 1969 Charger was used in seasons 2 through 4 and became the stunt team's favorite due to its surprisingly solid frame. After its final jump in 1982, it was sold to a crew member for $200 and stored in a Georgia barn. Forgotten and covered in hay, it sat untouched until 2012, when the owner's son discovered it. The car still had its welded doors, roll cage, and mismatched 1970 front end. It was authenticated by Dukes historian Randy Fulmer and sold at auction for $165,000. Why did it last so long? Luck, and a reinforced subframe installed after its 5th jump. Lee 17 is one of only 3 General Lees with documented multi-episode use. Its VIN, WS23N9B234122, is now legendary among collectors. And that's when things get weird. Duzine 12 uncovers the hidden police connection. Number 12. Some General Lees were ex-police cars. The car that outran cops was once a cop car itself. In the late 70s, many Southern police departments retired their 1969 Chargers. Yes, Dodge did sell them to law enforcement. Chrysler offered a police package for the Charger in 1969, RPO A38, featuring heavy-duty suspension, 15-inch steel wheels, and a 383 Magnum V8. These cars had reinforced frames and upgraded cooling, perfect for stunts. Production records show 112 Chargers were built for police use that year. Several ended up in Dukes after being decommissioned. Their robust builds may explain why some lasted longer in jumps. Archival photo, 1969, Dodge Charger, police cruiser. Police Chargers have unique VIN prefixes, e.g. W23 for two-door hardtop, and lack luxury trim. Look for mounting holes for spotlights or radio brackets under the dash. Why? Because number 11 reveals how one option code made the Charger illegal in half the U.S. Number 11. The street Hemi was banned in 18 states. Owning a real Hemi Charger in 1969 could get you fined, or worse. The 426 Street Hemi produced 425 horsepower, but failed emissions tests in numerous states. By 1969, California, New York, and 16 other states had strict anti-pollution laws. The Hemi's lack of smog controls made it illegal to register in those regions. Chrysler offered a smog-legal Hemi with air injection pumps, but few buyers wanted the 15-horsepower penalty. Most Hemis were sold in the South and Midwest. Insurance companies also blacklisted the Hemi, charging triple premiums. One insurer, State Farm, outright refused coverage. Smog-legal Hemis have an A suffix on the engine block, e.g. L23A. Non-smog cars are rarer but harder to register in strict states today. The part nobody talks about, number 10, exposes the Charger's secret twin. Number 10. It shared a body with a luxury coupe. The General Lee's silhouette was identical to a car driven by grandmothers and diplomats. The 1969 Charger was built on Chrysler's B-body platform, shared with the upscale Dodge Monaco and Plymouth Fury. Under the skin, the Charger, Monaco 500, and even the base Coronet were nearly identical. Same wheelbase, same roof stampings, same trunk. The Charger's fastback rear glass and hidden headlights gave it a sporty edge, but the doors, fenders, and floor pans were interchangeable. Chrysler did this to save costs, tooling one body for multiple brands. Even the interior dash was shared, though the Charger got a rally-style cluster. Beware of cloned Chargers built from Monaco shells. Check the cowl tag. Charger must appear in the model field. Real 69 Chargers also have a unique rear valance with reverse lights flanking the license plate. And if you think that's wild, number 9 rewrites the origin story of the Confederate flag. Number 9. The Confederate flag was almost a bullseye. The roof decal wasn't always the controversial symbol we know. It was nearly a target. Early concept art for the Dukes of Hazzard showed a bullseye on the roof, symbolizing the Dukes as targets of corrupt officials. Producers changed it to the Confederate battle flag to emphasize the show's Southern setting and rebel spirit, but even then, it was meant as historical homage, not political statement. The flag was hand-painted on each car, often with slight variations in shape and color. After decades of backlash, Warner Brothers digitally removed it from streaming versions in 2020. Yet in 1979, it was just part of the aesthetic, like the horn playing Dixie. Original screen-used flags had 13 stars in a circle. Modern replicas often get the proportions wrong. But it gets weirder. Number 8 reveals the horn's real origin. Number 8. The Dixie horn wasn't factory installed. That iconic Dixie melody never came from Dodge. It was a $12 aftermarket kit. The show's creators wanted a musical horn to match the car's personality. They installed a Dixie air horn from a truck accessory catalog, specifically the Model 600 by Nathan Manufacturing. It used compressed air from a small tank under the hood, triggered by a button on the steering wheel. Real Chargers had a standard single-note horn. The air tank and compressor added weight and complexity, so only jump cars got the full setup. Non-stunt cars used sound effects added in post. Authentic Dixie setups include a chrome air tank and dual trumpet horns. Many replicas use electronic modules that mimic the tune, but purists insist on the real pneumatic system. Here's the kicker. Number 7 uncovers how the General Lee broke NASCAR rules. Number 7. It violated NASCAR's no jumping rule. The General Lee's signature move was explicitly banned by NASCAR, and for good reason. In the 1950s and 60s, stock car racing allowed dramatic jumps on dirt tracks. But after multiple crashes, NASCAR outlawed airborne maneuvers in 1970. The Charger was originally designed as a NASCAR homologation special. The 1969 model followed the aerodynamic Coke bottle styling to beat Ford's Torino Talladega. But by the time Dukes aired, NASCAR had moved to restrictor plates and strict body templates. The General Lee's jumps were pure Hollywood fantasy. Even real moonshine runners avoided jumps. They wrecked cars and attracted cops. NASCAR Spec 69 Chargers had lightweight fiberglass hoods and trunks. Look for Hemi orange with black vinyl roofs, rare on street models. Even more shocking, Number 6 reveals the Charger's secret weight-saving trick. Number 6. The hood was fiberglass, but only on race models. Most street Chargers had steel hoods, but the ones built for speed cheated with plastic. To qualify for NASCAR, Chrysler needed to sell 500 Aero Chargers with lightweight components. The 1969 Charger, 500, and later Daytona models used fiberglass hoods and trunk lids to shave 60-plus pounds. Street versions? All steel. The General Lee replicas often used steel hoods, making them heavier and less agile. Fiberglass hoods had a distinct grain texture and lacked the Charger script embossing. Only 392 Charger 500s were built in 1969, far below the 500 needed, forcing Chrysler to create the Daytona with a wing. Fiberglass hoods have no V-end stamp and feel lighter when lifted. Reproductions exist, but original ones show stress cracks near the latch. The twist? Number 5 exposes how one color was so rare, only 2 exist. Number 5. Only 2 were painted. Sublime. Chrysler's wildest 1969 color, Sublime, a neon green, was applied to just 2 Chargers. Sublime, paint code FJ5, was a marketing experiment aimed at the youth market. Production records from the Lynch Road plant show only 2 1969 Chargers left the line in Sublime. One with a 383, one with a 440. Both were dealer demos. The color faded rapidly in sunlight and clashed with interior options, leading to its cancellation after 1 year. No Hemi Sublime Chargers were built. Today, both known examples are in private collections. One sold privately in 2018 for $310,000. Beware of resprayed Sublime Chargers. Real FJ5 has a unique metallic flake under UV light. Factory-applied Sublime also used special clear coat processes. And that's not all. Number 4 reveals the hidden compartment nobody noticed. Number 4. There was a secret glove box, but only in early models. The 1969 Charger's dashboard hid a feature Chrysler deleted mid-year. Early 1969 models included a lockable glove box behind the passenger-side dash panel. Due to cost-cutting and complaints about knee clearance, Chrysler eliminated it by February 1969. The space was filled with foam and covered by a blank panel. Only cars built before VIN 234000 have the hidden compartment. It's so obscure that even many restorers miss it. The deletion saved 1.37 per car, Chrysler's typical mid-year delete package move during financial strain. Open the passenger dash panel. If there's a latch mechanism behind it, you've got an early build. Why? Because number 3 uncovers the truth about the Aero 1 number. Number 3, Aero 1. Wasn't Beau's car? It was random. The 01 on the door had nothing to do with Beau Duke, and everything to do with TV practicality. Producers tested numbers Aero 1 through 05 on camera. Aero 1 was chosen because it read clearly in long shots and didn't resemble letters, like 04 looking like OD. It wasn't Beau's racing number or a tribute to anything. It was pure visual design. In early scripts, the car was unnamed. The General Lee moniker came from a crew member's suggestion, referencing Civil War General Robert E. Lee. Authentic screen-used cars always have Aero 1 in 12-inch white vinyl. Hand-painted or smaller fonts indicate a replica. But there's a twist. Number 2 reveals how the car almost got a V6. Number 2, Chrysler planned a V6 Charger in 1969. Yes, the muscle car icon nearly came with a 6-cylinder engine. As insurance costs soared and emissions tightened, Chrysler explored decontenting the Charger. Internal documents show a proposed Charger Special with a 225/6 engine, bench seats, and no center console. It would have started under $20,500, $800 cheaper than the V8 base model. The idea was scrapped when sales projections showed it would cannibalize Coronet sales. Only one prototype was built, and it vanished after testing. Period reports suggest it handled better than expected due to lighter front weight, but lacked the image. No verified V6 69 Chargers exist. Any claimed example is either a swap or a misidentified Coronet. And now, the truth that changes everything. Number 1. The General Lee was based on a car that never existed. The ultimate irony? The General Lee combined parts from multiple model years, creating a car Chrysler never actually built. The show's visual identity fused the 1969 Charger's body with the 1970 Charger's front end, specifically the split grille and hidden headlights. The 1969 Charger had a full-width grille with exposed quad headlights. The 1970 model introduced the now iconic electric shaver split grille. But the Dukes of Hazzard used 1969 bodies with 1970 front clips grafted on, because producers preferred the 1970 look. So every General Lee is technically a hybrid. Chrysler never offered this combo from the factory. Even the roofline was modified. Some cars had 1968 rear windows. For better structural integrity. The result? A mythic vehicle that exists only in film and in the dreams of collectors. True, General Lee spec builds require a 69 VIN with 70 front sheet metal. Purists debate whether it's a Charger at all. But its cultural impact is undeniable. It made the Charger the most recognized muscle car in the world. This Frankenstein creation redefines the line between authenticity and iconography. The General Lee isn't just a car. It's a cinematic chimera that outshone its real-world ancestors. The General Lee lives in a space between myth and metal, part factory muscle, part Hollywood magic. It's a car that never was, yet shaped how millions see American performance. So which fact blew your mind? Was it the welded doors, the fake Hemi, or the neon green rarity? Drop your pick in the comments. We read everyone. If you loved this deep dive, check out our videos on the 69 Camaro's secret racing past or the Plymouth Roadrunner's cartoon origins. Because in the world of muscle cars, truth really is stranger than fiction. Until next time, keep your foot on the gas and your eyes on the road.